every angle. She rises above it all. Backbone of every home. Nothing compares to all she do. True meaning of every family. She's the glue. Yeah. Where would we be without you? You brought us Martin, Malcolm, and Obama. Yeah. And Jesus too. Oh, sophisticated, strong, simply amazing, humble, honest, and helpful. Educated, ebony, eccentric, empowering. She's a queen. She's a queen. She better treat her like a queen. Oh, Her strength is amazing. Life inside, 9 months she's carrying. Back to work, cause the family she's carrying. Society don't give her just due, but she prevails and stands tall. A champion, a true woman. Nothing compares to all she do. Yeah, true meaning of every family. She's the glue. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Bishop R.C. Blakes. R.C. is an author, empowerment teacher, and the proud pastor of the New Home Ministries of New Orleans, Louisiana, and Houston, Texas. His message circles the globe. His conversational and candid approach to challenging content makes him a relevant voice to all generations. Get ready for a life-changing transformational conversation. Hello. This is R.C. Blakes, and what a blessing it is for me today to be able to share with you once again. You know, we have an amazing community of men and women alike. Of course, it's been mostly women, but now men are really starting to gravitate to our channel and becoming a part of our community. And I certainly thank God for that. It gives me the motivation and the opportunity to share more content that is directed towards men from time to time. But today I need you to really share this one, because this one is really going to, I think it's going to be enlightening. I want to talk for just a few minutes today about how a queen conscious woman reads between the lies. Not the lines, but the lies. And many times the lies come in lines. And sometimes you have to discern the in, eliminate the in, and realize that the line was always a lie. Think about how much improved your life would be had you had the capacity to discern the lies. If you were not gullible or credulous or so trusting or believing or so anxious to want something or someone to be true, that you really took the time to discern, to judge, and to read between the lies, think of how much improved your life would be. I know mine would be, because I've believed some incredible lies in my life. You know, wanting something so badly, wanting it to be true, feeling like I needed this so badly that I was just, jumping head first and had my fingers crossed, believing that somehow this would work out, only to end up heartbroken and depleted. Well, I want to just kind of deal with this today, and I'm going to need you to really lock in and pay attention, because we're going to go a little deeper today. The first question that I, asked myself is, why do people lie? Why do people just seem to make a complete lifestyle out of lying, even when lying is not necessary? Why do people go out of their way to break, humiliate, and destroy other people with things that they know or knew were untrue when they spoke them? And here are three things that I came back with. Of course, I'm certain that it goes deeper than this. Some people are just pathological liars. And this person lies for no apparent reason. Do you know anybody like that? They're just pathological liars. They don't need a cause. They don't need a reason. They don't need a motivation. There's this compulsive urge to lie about matters that are relevant, irrelevant, small, big, necessary, unnecessary. Regardless of the situation, it is the nature of this person to just lie. Now, it's sad to say, but where I find quite a few pathological liars is in the church. I am a pastor, and I find quite a few pathological liars camping out in the church. But the reality is, to be fair, they're everywhere, because the same people that are at church are on your job, in your school, in your family, in your neighborhood, in government. But the first is the pathological liar. Then the next I call the predatory liar. And this liar's intent is to manage the object of their deception for manipulation. They are preying on you. There's something that they desire to extract from your life, so they lie and twist the truth so as to manipulate you, so that they can take from you what they desire or what they need. You become the supply. There is a sociopathic fulfillment they gain from managing and compromising the souls of others. And this many times is the impact, or should I say, this is the experience that many have in romantic relationships. You think that you have someone that's in it to win it, and the reality is that they were just there to get what they wanted, and then they moved on.
Hey.
You think you have someone for life, when the reality is they just filled your ears with lies that they might spend the night. And then in the morning, you can't find them. There's a wonderful scriptural example of this type of person found in 1 Kings chapter 13. And as always, I encourage you to read the full context, read the whole story, in other words. But here's this older so-called prophet that is lying and deceiving this younger prophet, and it ended in the younger prophet losing his life.
On the road.
When this older prophet had no reason to lie to this boy, but he was a predatory liar.
That's right.
If you look in 1 Kings again, 13, 17, and 18, it says, "For it was said to me by the word of the Lord." Here's the older prophet lying to the young boy. "Thou shalt eat no bread nor drink water there, nor turn again to go by the way that thou camest." God told the boy to do something different, but this older prophet is lying and saying, "God told me to change the orders." He said unto him, "I am a prophet also as thou art. And an angel spake unto me by the word of the Lord, saying, Bring him back with thee into thine house, that he may eat bread and drink water. but he lied unto him. And because he lied unto him and changed the boy's directions, the boy lost his life. And then you have what I call the opportunistic liar. And this liar is simply taking advantage of an opportunity you may represent. They make you feel that the connection is relational when the reality is that it was always transactional. You have the pathological liar, the predatory liar, and then you have the opportunistic liar. Now here's the reality. All of these people, all of these liars may do equivalent damage if you find yourself taken in. If you are living your life constantly gullible and, just constantly trusting and believing everything people say to you, you will find yourself on the wrong end of one of these lies or one of these liars. If you go to Proverbs chapter 6, verses 16 through 19, I think it shows you how serious the impact of liars is. When you think of this text shows us how God even feels about liars. And listen to what it says here in Proverbs 6, 16 through 19. These 6 things the Lord hates. Indeed, 7 are repulsive to him. A proud look, the attitude that makes one overestimate oneself and discount others, a lying tongue. God hates a lying tongue. And hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that creates wicked plans, feet that run swiftly to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, even half-truths, and one who spreads discord, rumors among brothers. So we see that God hates liars. And I believe that God hates liars because of the impact that liars have on his children. Mm-hmm. There's some of you that are watching me right now whose lives are in shambles presently because you were taken in by one of these liars. Now let me say this to you. Let me prophetically speak this to you. It's not always going to be like this. I know that your life feels like it's torn apart and you have no tomorrow, but the reality is all you need do is keep lying down at night and waking up in the morning and keeping your attitude positive. This too shall pass. You can walk your way through this. Been devastated, you've been humiliated, you've been depleted, but you can recover from all of this if you keep the right spirit and the right attitude. But my point is, liars have a severe impact on our lives. Now, the thing we have to understand is this. We all have buttons that make us vulnerable. Amen. All of us, none of us are perfect, and we all have idiosyncrasies, I don't know if that's the word, proclivities. We have bents in life or mindsets that make us vulnerable to liars. Like me, for instance, I'm very quick to believe and to trust many times, or quicker than I should be. And I've gotten much better with that. But there was a time, man, that you would tell me something and I would automatically believe that you were telling me the truth. And there I am, head first. Mm-hmm. And, 90% of the time disappointed, embarrassed. Well, I grew up in a family where I had a father that gave me security. I had a mother that nurtured me. I had a brother that, adored me, a little brother that adored me. And so I grew up in an environment where there was a lot of truth and a lot of love and a lot of support. And so when I entered into the world, I just believed that everybody in the world speaks truth. Nobody in the world is intending to hurt you. And then, I meet Lisa, who had a very different upbringing, very different upbringing. Did not have a family support system that she could trust. It was abusive. And she was not in an environment where she had the security of a father. She had to flee and run from him because he was her abuser, one of them. And so somewhere around 14 or 15, I think it was, Lisa emancipated herself in Canada and was on her own. So when she and I come together, she's looking, her worldview is a lot different than mine. And though I'm the man and the leader and all of that, I'm believing stuff. And Lisa's like, wait a minute, we have to search this out. We have to make certain that this is correct. Mm-hmm. And for a while, I was like, you're too pessimistic, you're too negative, until I started seeing it. After occasion after occasion after occasion, she was right and I was wrong. And there were times that I just went on and did it anyway. And I was taken in and was embarrassed because my wife told me, you can't trust that. Mm-hmm. But all of us have, especially if you are a good-natured person, and if you've lived a life, somewhat of a normal life, where the world has just not completely stripped you and broken you, all of us have this thing in us that makes us vulnerable to lies. I call these things buttons that can be pressed that will open us up to the liar. Number one, some of us we struggle with vanity. And a person that's superficial and shallow is a great candidate for being taken in. Mm-hmm. And, isn't this a day and time that the Bible says that men shall be lovers of themselves? Men shall seek pleasure. Men shall be lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. This is probably the most vain generation in the history of mankind, or the history of the world. But when you are a vain person and you find your value in your looks, in your image, in your social media, you have to understand that really opens your life up to liars, because all a person has to do at that point is play into your vanity and all of your defenses drop. Then you have the person that has been traumatized. And some of us have been traumatized in one way or another. And this is a person that has been broken. And the person that has been broken is often living with a futile and toxic hope for better times, and hoping that this is going to be the person that is going to fix the damage that the other person exacted. This is going to be the person that's going to finally approve of me. Because you're traumatized, you're hoping for the world to deliver something to you that only you and God can actually provide. And then there's the person that is empathetic, to an unhealthy extent. I call it toxic empathy. And these are people who feel other people. You feel other people, and you're more concerned about the feelings of other people than you are your own feelings. So you ignore your empathy, causes you to ignore your discernment, ignore your common sense, your critical thinking. These people are managed by their feelings. So a liar can look at your toxic empathy, and they know how to put on the act, and they know how to put on the face, and they know exactly what to say to make you feel their pain. While they, in turn, are using your empathy against you.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then there's the person that needs validation. And this is the person that has a need for outside approval. In other words, they don't find it from within. They're seeking for validation from without. They need somebody on the outside to say, great job. They need somebody on the outside to say, you're worth it. You're worthwhile. You're great. You're good. And this need for validation makes you susceptible. And then, of course, there are those of us that get caught up in the intimacy thing. When a relationship has turned intimate, it may blur the judgment. And so people will create a romantic scenario just to dial back your sense of judgment. Now, queen conscious women, when we talk about queen conscious women, what is a queen conscious woman? A queen conscious woman is a woman who is aware, she's cognizant of who she is, why she exists, what her worth is, what her value is, what she will or won't settle for. She's queen conscious. She knows when a situation has gone beneath her, and she eliminates herself from the equation. She's queen conscious. She's not going to let you toy with her because she's what? Queen conscious. Now, queen conscious women are simultaneously conscious of others and their surroundings. So when you are truly functioning in your queen consciousness, your God consciousness and your self-consciousness makes you acutely aware of the people in your circle or in your space.
Yes.
So a queen conscious woman, because she's in tune with who she is, she's also in tune with the people that are in her space, and if they agree with her or not. She may not necessarily have the specifics or the complete rundown on what your story is or, what your game is, but she knows enough, she knows herself enough to know if your energy agrees with her. She knows herself enough to really listen to you with her intelligence and not with her emotion. And she can read between your lies. You said one thing 3 minutes ago, now you're saying something else.
That's right.
Because she's what? Queen conscious. This is why queen conscious women are not seemingly pursued as much as other kinds of women. It's because the world knows, the world is like an animal. Animals know who they can play with. And the world knows a woman it can play with. And when a woman is queen conscious, the world is usually intimidated by her because a queen conscious woman can see through the disguise.
Amen.
See through the mask. I love what Isaiah 6:5 says. It says, then said I, woe is me. He has a revelation of God, which gave him a revelation of himself, but then we see something else in here. He said, then said I, woe is me, revelation of himself, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips. He's conscious of himself. And I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. Now he's discerning those that are in his community. For mine eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. When you get a right perspective of God, God gives you a right perspective of yourself. It then leads to your having the capacity to discern the people around you. Now let me jump into this. I think I have maybe 5 or 6 main points. Number one, signs that you're possibly dealing with a lie or a liar here. Their mouths are filled with flattery. You got to pay attention to that. You have to pay attention to that. That's why you have to be queen conscious, because when you're queen conscious, you don't have the need for another person building you up, telling you how beautiful you are. You can receive that and you can appreciate that, but you don't have a need for that. It's not like you're deficient of that. It's because you already know your worth. You already know what you're working with. And so when they share those things with you, it's not like a revelation to you, you know. But when you lack that queen consciousness, a person uses flattery to fill your self-esteem deficiency, and in turn they are managing your life. What flattery does is, flattery is designed to separate you from your spiritual discernment. So a person just comes in, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so articulate. Oh, you're just amazing. Oh, your home is just this. Oh, I just love the way you speak. Your shape is just this. And all of this flattery is to put out the flame of your spiritual discernment.
Amen.
And then once I flatter you sufficiently, then I introduce, and you're just so amazed. Oh, he talks so sweet to me. He says the nicest things to me.